championship matches coming up tonight here on Cool Tides. But first, singles action, starting off with, as you said, a young man who certainly is big. He is Country Big Josh Knott.
Yep, whoever this new GM is, Dave Bradshaw, has certainly put a card together tonight. And who is it?
Well, it's not me, I can tell you that much. Is it you?
Your name has been brought up a few times.
I assume you're the kind of man who has your ear to the ground. I assumed you might have some inside information on who our new boss might be.
You know, normally I would like to say that I know. I legitimately have no idea, Dave Bradshaw.
Well, it is a night of intrigue then. Pretty angry looking Josh Knott getting ready for action.
Obviously not happy with his crowd at Weymouth. He wants the big entrance. He wants the music louder. There we go.
Oh my goodness. Confetti flying out of that cannon from the admirers. Joe Blazr, a man who Steve had a rebirth back in November, came very, very close to dethroning the Blockbusters and becoming a BLW Tag Team Champion.
Very close. Far too close to call that match. That was a brilliant match. But yeah, here he is, singles action against Country Big.
Well,
I'm sorry, my heart's a bit...
After the confetti, I know what you mean.
Confetti, yeah.
People need to give us warning. We're not getting any younger. Joe Blazr had a slightly unorthodox pairing in recent months with Ian Skinner, his former rival. They kind of developed a respect for each other, and as I said, then came very close when they teamed together in November to winning tag gold. But it's been a mixed bag for Joe Blazr in singles competition. He does have a win over Skinner, but losses to Jay Joshua and Jordan Spark, so it would be a big victory here for Blazr if he can get it done against Country Big.
And I hate to point out the size difference between these two guys, but do you know what? Joe's a heck of a worker, a hell of a wrestler. So he's got it in him. He has the heart, he has the determination, and he has the backing of Weymouth.
Yeah, well, certainly Josh not making himself any friends here. You can hear the boos from a sold-out Weymouth Pavilion here on the seafront on the south coast.
And I happened to have a walk around earlier on because I do like Weymouth. I do like coming here. And yeah, I was trying to do a bit of investigation. A few names have been dropped on who this new GM is.
Yeah, I heard you were patrolling around the arcades on the seafront trying to gather information.
With my 2Ps.
With a bag of 2Ps. Trying to bribe people to see if they had any inside knowledge.
Hey, what's...
That's what I heard.
No, absolutely not. Don't need to bribe, just ask. Well, we're ready. We're ready.
And here we go. Bell rings. As I said, 3 championship matches coming up tonight, and of course, the BLW debut of wrestling legend Carlito later on as well. He's going to go one-on-one against former 3-time BLW world champion Adam Maxted.
Oh, yes. And that man has gone through some changes.
Could be 2 very, very big personalities clashing in that main event later on, but there's 2 very, very different personalities clashing here as well. I'm not sure this is the smart move for Blazr, because he's going to get overpowered if he goes for that collar and elbow tie-up, Steve.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, Joe's not a small man. I mean, look, he's put together, he's built, he's athletic. But when you see him in the ring with Country Big, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opponents for Joe Blazr where that kind of strategy would work, but he's going to have to adapt here because he's got a height disadvantage, he's got a size disadvantage, so he's going to have to rely on agility, on speed, if he's going to take down Knott.
Oh, and he's got the ear there. Did you see that?
Well, he's not averse to an occasional bending of the rules, isn't
Or
Blazr?
bending of the ear.
Bending of the ear in this case, exactly. Blazr telling Country Big to calm down. That just feels like that's poking the bear a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, that's the worst thing you can say to this crowd. No clapping. Please don't clap.
Again, they lock up. Blazr is trying to outpower Knott for better or worse. Trying to back him into the corner, but not just so much strength. It's an uphill battle every time doing that for Joe Blazr.
And look at that, just looking down on him. Oh, and apparently Country Big has a bit of an oral problem.
He's got a Joe Blazr problem now. Blazr getting in the face of Josh Knott. And there is a clear strategy here, it seems to me, on the part of Blazr to get under the skin of Knott, to make him lose his temper, and then hopefully to make a mistake.
But that's a big risk. Like you say, you're poking the bear.
Blazr, that rear waist. And again, I'm just not sure that Blazr's tactics here in the opening minutes have been what he needs to do.
And again, let's take nothing away from the technical abilities of Country Big. Yes, he's big, he's a brawler, but technically, he's sound. He can be a technical wrestler, but he just reverts to this ego attitude, you know? Yeah. And that isn't going to work.
Blazr was confusing, not there, with a series of squats, but not still got a hold of him. Well, that's one way to get out of that situation.
Wow. The old Greco-Roman foot stomp.
Now side headlock from Blazr. Not though, going to shove him away to the ropes. And like running into a brick wall for Blazr. And again.
I mean, you can't take away courage from this guy, right?
Blazr just colliding again and again.
Oh. Probably not the smartest move.
Oh, it's all part of the plan, I think. Again, just trying to rile Josh Knott. Goes down low as a leapfrog from Blazr. But now this is better from Blazr because he's using his speed advantage as a drop kick into the abdomen of Knott.
Yeah, but he doesn't go down. Oh, no wake. No wake.
Oh, that's ambitious. That is ambitious on the part of Joe Blazr, and it does not pay off. A swing and a miss from Knott. That paid off for Blazr. Second guessing him at every turn at the moment.
He's going to knock himself out. Dangerous up the top.
Blazr leaping over him, lands on his feet. I'm not covered up. And the second time of asking went for the crossbody, but again the power of Country Big comes to his aid.
Okay, this could be it. Dave Bradshaw, we could be seeing the finish of this match.
Oh, Blazr though, looking for a sunset flip here.
Can he get him over? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Oh!
Blazr moved out of the way.
That's a cauliflower backside in the morning.
I'm not sure you're a qualified medical doctor, Steve.
I might not be qualified, but I'll have a good look at it.
Someone's going to have to take a look at the elbow of Josh Knott. That was a nasty landing. Blazr moved out of the way. Blazr is being like a matador here. And Josh Knott, a raging bull.
Well, if this was a battle royal or a rumble.
Blazr over the top, taking out Knott. It's interesting you mentioned Battle Royal, Steve, because Josh Knott actually got his Country Big nickname at BLW Reload in a 20-man rumble back in 2018 when he faced Gangrel, of all people, in a match. It was Gangrel who gave him that moniker.
And he does live up to it. He does live up to that Country Big moniker.
Blazr trying again. He's nothing if not tenacious, isn't Blazr?
You can only go to the well too many times.
Blazr, again, trying to pick up the speed. This time Knott was up to the challenge, and Blazr pays the price.
And now the tide has changed. Look at this, here we go. Now we're going to see the brawling. Now we're going to see the strength moves. Oh, ow.
And nasty looking right hand there from Country Big, just battering him from pillar to post now. There is big trouble here for the admired Joe Blazr.
He's still trying to fight back, Dave. He's still trying to fight back. Not successfully.
Yeah, but, I mean, it just must rock your entire body when you get one of those big, powerful strikes coming down across your back
But he's
like
still
that.
trying to lift him up. And he's... he got him inches off the floor. Inches.
Yeah, he's just not making enough progress on those efforts. And again, you just think maybe you've got to rethink what he's trying here, because you can only survive so many of those power moves like that body slam.
He's got to keep his cool.
Blazr kicking out after a count of 1. Bit of a statement of intent there from Blazr, say, no, you're not even going to get me down for a 2 count.
So not as much damage as we first might have thought on him, because he's kicking out at 1.
Blazr in search of what would be a major feather in his cap, a victory against a BLW original.
Not with that back elbow.
Josh Knott's been here in BLW since the beginning, looking for another win to add to his resume here, but Blazr kicks out on 2.
Again, the first kick out was 1, this was 2. You only need 3 for the win.
Yeah, things are heading very much in the right direction on that front for Josh Knott. Who can forget, Knott's had some incredible matches in BLW through the years, those bull rope matches with Eddie Ryan, among the highlights of Country Big's career, that 20-man rumble, the battle with Gangrel that we talked about. Now Blazr, though, once more, showing some of that resilience, getting a jawbreaker there on Knott.
A bit of a glass jaw there. Is he going to get him up? He's up, he's up!
Blazr almost had him. Knott, big ouch in the corner. Charging into him like a freight train.
I don't know how much of this he can take. Again, going for the big elbow drop.
And he got it.
I measured that one.
That could be all. That's got to be all. Forcing those shoulders into the canvas, and Blazr somehow
just kicked out. Just kicked out.
It almost wasn't even a kick out. It was like his entire body just reflexively spasmed out of that before the count of 3. Instinctively knew that he couldn't allow himself to stay down.
So he's still firing on instinct. Oh, well, this is going to knock some wind out of him.
Yeah, here's the
Here
problem.
we go.
You can't fire on instinct if you're not conscious.
Yeah, we know how good you are. We've said this. Having to go at you, Dave Bradshaw.
Well, not yet. I mean, he turned his attention to us, and actually it's cost him, because Blazr gave him an opening to get back into this. Blazr has him up. The back giving out.
I mean, Country Big must be 19, 20 stone.
And again, the effortlessness with which Knott's able to do that to Blazr versus the effort that Blazr has to put in to just lift him up in that fireman's carry.
Absolutely.
That has been the difference in this match so far.
Absolutely. I mean, if you was a betting man, Dave Bradshaw, you would put your money on Country Big, right?
Oh, I mean, especially now, because this has turned into the kind of match that I think Country Big wants to wrestle. He wants it to be this methodical pace where he can systematically dismantle Blazr.
Absolutely. But you got to bear in mind that the new GM has put in this 20-minute time limit, so he might want it to go longer. But do you know what? They're not paid by the hour.
No, that's true. Well, I think we've still got quite a long way to go until we're at that 20-minute time. It's a long way to try and last for Blazr, especially if he's going to have to endure more chops like that from Knott.
This could be it. Oh!
He's not even going for the pin. He's just trying to punish Blazr more.
We're just trying to knock him out. If you're unconscious, you can't kick out.
Right, you can have the best instincts in the world. If you literally are not conscious, you cannot do anything about it, as you say. Not now.
And now weakening him down again. And listen to this Weymouth crowd getting behind Blazr.
As we said, they are sold out tonight at the Weymouth Pavilion, but even the support, the vocal support of the BLW fans, not enough to get Blazr out of trouble. Suplex from Country Big.
And that's not a trampoline they're landing on. I couldn't. Oh.
Oh my God.
Now he's taking a breather. No, finish him, cover him.
Well, I think, is he looking to climb here?
Yeah, but he's taking his merry time. Oh!
Yeah, going for the bomb. For the elbow, and you're right, Steve. He took too long about it. Was jaw-jacking with the fans, and that might have just cost him the victory.
And look now. The adrenaline's starting to run again. He's recuperating a little bit.
A swing and a miss from Country Big, and another one. Blazr just a half step ahead here at every turn. The adrenaline flowing through the body of Joe Blazr.
Can't get the big man off his feet, though. What's it going to take?
He's looking a little wobbly, though, now. He's teetering. Is Josh Knott. Blazr.
Oh!
This time, maybe. Not got the elbow.
That back's going to give, Dave Bradshaw. That back is going to give. No!
Blazr powering back up, and again the elbows to the side of the face. Blazr! Springboard forearm from Joe Blazr. Country Big may have been knocked out, but no, he kicked out on two.
Wow. Wow, there was no kick out on one there, Dave Bradshaw.
Well, that is as close as Joe Blazr has come to victory so far in what has been a Herculean effort from Blazr. Blazr trying to pick up Knott, but the problem is, a man that size, he's like trying to lift dead weight here and lifting like a sack of potatoes.
I'm glad you said potatoes.
Blazr might try from that front face-up position for the blaze of glory. Knott powers out. Big buster from Josh Knott.
That could be it.
Blazr has the wind knocked out of his body, but finds some reserves of energy to get that left shoulder up.
That was so close. Oh!
Knott got it. That's that full Nelson slam. He uses that to put a lot of opponents away. Will it be enough here against Blazr? The answer,
I can't believe he kicked out of that.
That is very much a signature move for Country Big, but it's back to the drawing board here.
But both men down, and Joe Blazr looks like that back is giving him some serious damage he's got to that back there.
You know what, though? I think at this point in the match, when you do have to dig deep, the support of the fans is more important than ever.
Oh! Did you hear his head collide off that?
He hit by the steel post, I think. Blazr with the roll-up. Not able to kick out.
Now he's up.
Blazr.
Now he's up. Are we going to see it?
The Blazr effect from Joe Blazr finally got him up on the shoulders, and it's enough for Joe Blazr to secure the victory.
What a match!
Steve, we talked about the mixed record that Joe Blazr has here in BLW in singles competition and how he desperately needed a victory here tonight. Well, when the chips are down, as they were here, Joe Blazr got it done.
And that is a big W in that column. I mean, a win over Country Big. Wow.
That could be the spark that Joe Blazr needs to begin what he hopes will be a very successful 2026 here in Big League Wrestling.
And that is a great start. I mean, where do you go from a big win over Country Big? Well, sky's the limit. Maybe this new GM has got big plans. Oh, Country Big is not happy.
And be careful backstage, because there is a big country boy on the rampage in a furious mood. But Joe Blazr in party mood. It's going to be a hell of a celebration tonight on the seafront at Weymouth for the admired